So next I want to talk about some more holistic rating system programs. And when I say holistic, usually the things that I like to cover basically are site issues, energy consumption issues, water consumption issues, material use, and indoor air quality. You can hit on other things, but those are usually the basics. The first one is LEED. That stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. It's a program put on, developed by the United States Green Building Council. It's really sort of the gold standard for commercial green rating systems. They've done the USGBC's done a really good job. They launched this back in 2001 and really worked with industry. So they have a heavy market adoption. You know, they're pushing the envelope, but not pushing too hard. And now they're continually raising the bar. And they've really done a lot, really transformed the market. Carpet, 10 years ago, you might be hard-pressed to find something that had high recycled content. Now, every single major manufacturer has that. And I think, again, kudos to LEED for doing that. So, love the program, think it's a great program. Next one I want to talk about actually is Earthcraft for light commercial. Who here has heard about Earthcraft? Anybody here familiar? All right, art, excellent. Well, Earthcraft is a program that Southface actually developed. We started it back in 1999. It was probably the third or fourth green building residential rating program in the country. So initially it was just for residential, single-family residential. Then we moved over into single-family renovations, then got into multifamily and then communities. But over the last couple of years, we've developed this light commercial program. And it's designed for buildings that are 15,000 square feet and under. And it's really, we felt that there was a need. LEED, is a great program, but for a lot of these smaller buildings, it tends to be extremely expensive. You've got to go through the documentation cost, commissioning. So we tend to go in, it's a fairly prescriptive approach, and we do a lot of testing and things like that. And the reality is we have a lot of buildings that are this size. It's probably 60 to 70% here in the South are 15,000 square feet and under, so it's a large population. So we want to make sure they can play in the game.
The conference, that's a very valid question to ask. What you're going to hear from me, very simply, is an Excel spreadsheet is your best friend. Know your data, know your systems. Don't think one size fits all, because it does not. And there are opportunities, both building specific, but also holistically, as Brandon alluded to, from a campus-wide perspective, where you can save significant sums of money actually for little or no cost. And so that's what we're going to talk about briefly here this morning. I can go into a much deeper dive on these concepts, but you've heard these before, and I just want to reiterate them going forward. As I mentioned, the very first thing to do is establish a baseline and serve your systems. In other words, what is your total campus energy and materials use? Understand what that is. Make sure you draw that line in the sand, so when you take conservation steps, you can audit where you work. Yeah, you can compare against other buildings, but you have to be very careful with that. Are they in the same seasonal climactic area as you are? Are they operating those systems like you are? And so on and so forth. So it can be a dangerous game when you try to baseline against somebody else. It's always deadly accurate whenever you compare yourself to yourself. Okay? So when you collect all of this, what we're trying to do is establish where do you go to work first. In other words, you want to establish these baselines.
I'm going to take a slightly different track. It's our belief that in order to develop an effective sustainability program, you first need to know where you are, what your facilities consist of, condition of your facilities, and what capital investment your facilities require, and then build your sustainability program off that. Look at the condition of your air handlers, and then make the determination: should we replace that air handler for a more energy efficient unit, a more sustainable unit? So it's about establishing a baseline of where are we at the moment, so we know where we can go in the future, what makes the most sense from both a economical standpoint, a justification of capital budget standpoint, and also a kind of holistical planning standpoint. So that's what I'm going to touch on.